Video game characters have been around since the dawn of gaming. In the 80s, arcade gaming took off with recognizable characters like Pac-Man, Mario, Donkey Kong, Link, and Mega Man, who are still getting new game installations over 40 years later. But since then, they've evolved from just being a mascot. Nowadays, they have as much depth and backstory as movies and TV shows, and people are now realizing that video games are more than just time wasters now, and they actually have emotional storylines with well thought out characters and amazing narratives. When you think of a good character or a good story in the area of video games, you probably will think of a Rockstar game. Whether that's GTA 5 with the dynamic between Michael, Franklin, and Trevor, or Red Dead Redemption 2 with the character development of Arthur Morgan, Rockstar Games over the years have gotten better and better with making characters feel like humans and making them actually have human emotions instead of being bland two-dimensional characters with no real depth, like they had in the early 2000s when gaming became available to the masses. But what makes a character good? Well, the obvious answers are overcoming a challenge or having human emotions, feelings, and questions about themselves and others. But some other smaller things that can help is like connections between certain characters and disdain towards others. If your character just likes everyone equally, then it will make them feel bland without real depth. Now, you saw the thumbnail, and you know who I'm going to talk about next. Arthur Morgan. It wouldn't be a stretch to say that he's the best character in all of gaming, or at least one of the best. With the narrative between the characters in the camp, Arthur and Micah and their rivalry, or John and Arthur and their bond, Arthur Morgan is a masterpiece of a character, start to finish, and has one of the best developments of character in all of gaming and media. But what about non-talking characters? Can they have depth and motives? Absolutely, but it's harder to portray it, but you can do it. Let's take a look at the Portal franchise. The main character throughout those games is named Shell. She is a girl that was put into the program, which are the Portal puzzles. And throughout the game, she develops a relationship with GLaDOS and Wheatley without ever saying a word. And honestly, I think that if she did speak, it would dilute the games from being the masterpieces that they are. Now, I can't forget to mention Joel and Ellie from The Last of Us. The thing that makes The Last of Us games so fun is the relationship between Joel and Ellie, and their contrast and growing bond throughout the game. First, Joel sees it as a mission, something to get some cash, something to get out of Boston, but eventually becomes human and starts to care about her because of his past trauma with his actual daughter, and he sees a spark of her in Ellie. Another amazing character is Spider-Man. He's been in many medias, comics, shows, games, and movies. But in the newest Spider-Man game, he has one of the best story arcs, and the story isn't even the main selling point. With the spiral into madness that Doc Ock falls into, and the choice that Peter makes that leads to the death of Aunt May, you really get to see how Peter is hurting and struggles with the balancing of relationships and being Spider-Man. Now, they still haven't perfected characters, and there's some really fucking bad ones still coming out today. Forspoken. Sorry, had something in my throat there. But there are some amazing games with hopefully amazing characters coming out this year, like Atomic Heart, Jedi Survivor, Stalker 2, and more. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, please subscribe. It helps out more than you know.